Caves, a world of their own. The world of caves. You are hiking through the woods on a hot, sunny day when you spy the entrance to a cave. Inside, everything is different. You hear the drip of water. You feel the cool, damp air. You have entered a whole new ecosystem. Welcome to the world of caves. Of course, you should never explore a cave on your own. It is much too dangerous. Yet you may dream of becoming a cave explorer someday. Here are some things about caves you should know. Caves are not just cold, dark holes where bats hang upside down. It is true that many caves are cold and dark. It is also true that many caves are homes to bats. But caves are much more than that. They are natural holes or passageways in the earth, are home to some of the strangest and most interesting animals found anywhere, can be found all over the world, even under the sea, come in all shapes and sizes. Some are just holes in the ground. Others go on, are often explored. You could be the first person to step foot inside a cave, and are some of the most beautiful places on earth. Caves in the United States. The United States is filled with amazing caves. The Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico are the largest natural underground passageways ever discovered on Earth. Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park includes caves made by Mauna Loa, the world's most active volcano. And the caption at the bottom, Mammoth Cave in Kentucky is one of more than 40,000 known caves in the United States. Mammoth holds the record as the world's longest cave. It is at least 565 kilometers long. Types of caves. Caves are described by how they were formed. Here are some examples of different kinds of caves. The first one, solution caves. Solution caves are made slowly by water that pours into cracks in limestone. Little by little, the water dissolves the limestone and makes caves. New Mexico's Carlsbad Cavern is a solution cave. Lava tube caves. Lava tube caves are formed when superhot liquid rock hardens. Craters of the Moon National Monument in Idaho is filled with ancient lava tube caves. Sea caves. Sea caves are formed where powerful waves pound on rocks. You can explore sea caves at Point Reyes National Seashore in California. Erosional caves. Erosional caves are carved out of stone by wind and water. Zion National Park in Utah has many beautiful erosion caves. A jewel of a cave. Jewel Cave National Monument is the world's third longest known cave. It twists and churns for almost 210 kilometers, which is 130 miles below ground. It took almost 50 million years for Jewel Cave to form. Earthquakes made cracks in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Water seeped into the cracks. Slowly, the water dissolved the limestone in the hills. After millions of years, the water hollowed out miles of mysterious passageways. Deep inside Jewel Cave are amazing patterns of minerals. Small, knobby patterns are called popcorn. Soft, silvery bubbles are called balloons. Moon milk is powdery and looks like cottage cheese. How big is Jewel Cave? No one really knows. In the last 100 years, people have explored about 130 kilometers or 80 miles of the cave, but they still have not found the end. The most important animals in the Jewel Cave ecosystem are 9 different kinds of bats. Mice and other little mammals live near the entrances. Deep inside, scientists have found evidence of mammals. These mammals may have squeezed in through hidden cave entrances. There's an example of the popcorn. These are different formations, balloon and moon milk. Home Sweet Cave. An ecosystem is made up of all the living and non-living things in an environment and all the interactions. Non-living things can be dirt, rocks, and water. The sun is a non-living part of almost every ecosystem on Earth. Plants need sunlight to make their food. Plant-eating animals eat the plants. Meat-eating animals eat the plant eaters. Without sunlight, the plants and animals would starve. Just a few feet inside of a cave, it is dark. No sunlight can get through, yet plenty of animals live inside each cave. Every animal that lives in a cave must either go outside to eat or eat food that other animals bring into the cave. So who's at home in the entrance zone? The part of the cave you can see from the outside is called the entrance zone. This area is shady, yet it still gets some sunshine. For tiny animals such as mice, spiders, worms, and salamanders, it is a safe, cool place to live. Some animals like frogs and raccoons may wander into the entrance zone. These animals live and eat outside the cave. There's a picture of the entrance zone. Welcome to the twilight zone. If you take a few steps inside the cave, you will have to take off your sunglasses. This is the twilight zone, a place with just a little light. Here, cave crickets and beetles make their home. Plenty of other animals spend the night or the day in the twilight zone. They leave to gather food. Bats and bears sleep in the twilight zone of caves. There's a picture of the twilight zone. And now the dark zone. Go deeper and you will need your flashlight. Deep inside the cave is the dark zone. There is no light here at all. This part of the cave is home to the cave dwellers. These animals never leave their cool, dark home. And there's a picture of the dark zone. Cave dwellers. Because they live in the dark, many cave dwellers do not have eyes. Among these eyeless cave dwellers are cave spiders, cave fish, ground beetles, blind salamanders, and blind shrimp. Cave dwellers never leave the cave, so they must find their food inside the cave. Millipedes eat the fungus that grow on the wet cave floor. Ground beetles eat the eggs of cave crickets. Many cave dwellers live on bat droppings. Bat droppings are full of seeds. These seeds are food for some cave insects. Other cave dwellers live on the fungus that grow on the droppings. So there's a blind tetra type of fish and a cave spider. Going bats. Bracken Cave in Texas is home to the world's largest bat colony. Each year, 20 million Mexican free-tailed bats gather at the cave to have their young. Each summer night, the bats pour out of the entrance of Bracken Cave. They can eat more than 180 metric tons or 200 tons of insects in one night. You can see them pouring out of the cave there. Fast fact. Microbes are animals that are too small for us to see. To find them, scientists look at cave slime under a microscope. Microbes in caves include fungi. Fungi are important because they are a food source for other creatures. Cave microbes can also be useful in medicines. A collection of cave critters. Deep inside caves, live animals that usually appear in scary movies and books. Bats, beetles, and blobby slugs may not be pretty, yet they are all important to the cave ecosystem. Cave salamanders live in the twilight zone. These yellowish-brown reptiles are about 15 centimeters long. Their long legs, flat toes, and strong tail help them climb cave rocks. The cave salamander also eats other animals, including baby salamanders. Cave crickets, spiders, and daddy longlegs all live inside caves. They leave the caves at night to find food. The giant cave cricket grows up to 6 centimeters long. Unlike other crickets, it eats meat. It also feeds on the eggs of other bugs. When they jump, cave crickets turn upside down. That confuses predators. It allows the cricket to find a new escape route. Australian ghost bats hide in caves and mines and never come out. They find their food, mice, inside caves. Blind cavefish have no eyes and no color. They use sound to help them find their way around cold cave pools. Asian cave racers are among the few snakes that live in caves. They are yellowish-brown with black stripes. Their favorite food is bats. Many snakes live just inside the cave entrance. Cave and cliff swallows are birds that build mud nests inside the caves. They often come inside for shelter. Flatworms slither over damp cave floors to find food. They leave a sticky trail behind. Insects get caught in the goo and become supper for the flatworm. There's a picture of the flatworm. You have a ghost bat and a cricket. Meet a cave explorer. Patricia Sizer is a cave explorer. She works for the National Park Service in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Her job includes exploring and mapping new caves. She also helps scientists learn more about cave environments. Read what Patricia has to say in this interview. So here's the question. What was your first caving experience like? And Patricia answered, my first real wild caving trip was with the National Park Service. They made sure that we wore the proper clothing and gave us lights, helmets, and knee pads. A ranger led us through the part of the cave that was not on the regular visitor trail. Towards the end of the trip, he told us to find our own way out. That was a lot of fun. We went around in circles several times and did not get very far. We never did find our own way out. After much laughter and a short discussion about getting lost in caves, he let us out. I was dirty, tired, and happy and hooked on caves. Another question. What is it like to work around bats and other cave animals? Sometimes I help with research right at the entrance to Carlsbad Caverns. When the bats begin to fly, we have to stay inside the cave. That's so we don't disturb the bats or the visitors who may be watching the flight from the surface. It is the most amazing feeling to be sitting in the dark and hearing the sound of wings as the bats fly by, often hundreds at a time. It sounds like the sound you hear when you hold a seashell up to your ear. Sometimes you can feel them brush right next to you. When you look out towards the cave entrance, you can see the bats against the night sky as they spiral up and out of the cave. It is a very different experience from sitting outside and watching the bats emerge. Very few people have the chance to feel a bat flight. I feel very lucky. And the last question. What was your most exciting caving experience? Her answer. My secret dream has always been to be an explorer. As a child, I read a lot of books about explorers and still do. In 1987, I was lucky enough to be on a survey trip into Lechuguilla Cave in Carlsbad Caverns National Park, New Mexico. When it was time to leave the cave, I was sent to check and make sure the passage did not end just around the corner. I stepped through a small hole and started forward, only to realize that I was in what looked like Swiss cheese. There were holes everywhere. I turned around to be sure that I would recognize the hole I had just come through. I saw footsteps. I was really disappointed because I thought I had been the first person there. Then I realized the footsteps were following me. The next second I realized they were mine. I really was the first person in that room. That's when it hit me. I had achieved my childhood dream. And there's a picture of the caverns. See a little bit of it. The end.